Welcome to week 7. I can't believe we're almost finished with our first 2 months focusing on designing powerful workshops on equity, inclusion, and social justice. Here are this week's assignments. I'd like you to finish reviewing the packet of materials, designing workshops on diversity, equity, inclusion. Note all your last questions about designing workshops, send them to me directly and/or ask in the forum or in our next open Q&A. I then want you to make sure you've downloaded the packet and printed it off, that handouts packet. Now, the first workshop worksheet in there is the self-assessment for inclusion practitioners. These are the 64 skills and competencies that I have on my screen as I'm listening in needs assessment discussions, as I'm thinking about activities, as I'm in the workshop kind of scaling what people need and where they are. And so I'd like you to do is rate your own capacity in each of these skills. I think all facilitators need these, and all leaders and actually all employees need these, every organization, in my opinion. And note which ones you want to develop further, just in your own professional development. And then take a look at it again, thinking about your participants, your leaders, your employees, your organization, and give them an overall rating. I know it depends who it is, may vary by department, and yet just get a sense of what's the current capacity using these types of inclusion skills. And then identify which skills you want to include in your future workshops for them and/or any other place you may be doing workshops. I then like you to look at my next webinar, Recognizing Microaggressions. The intent of this one is to help people identify and interrupt microaggressions. It'll be some of the same skills you saw in the 2 webinars on how to do the equity inclusion workshops, but you'll see it all put together and also give some other information. But mostly I want you to watch it to apply all the design principles and tools and strategies we've been talking about and see, when do you see me using them? What do you think was behind the scenes as I made my different choices? And then what's the probable impact of the different design choices I made? And since we're moving into facilitation in month 3 in just a couple weeks, can't believe it, I'd like you to be thinking about, what are the different facilitation tools and strategies I'm recommending and even using if you want to look at the meta level of my doing this webinar. And then again, what's the probable impact of my choosing to teach or recommend these facilitation tools and actually use them? And always when you're looking at my material, I'd like you to think, how might you shift or adjust the activities, the way I do things, to meet the needs of the participants in your organization, your workshops? Given your group memberships, privileged and marginalized, you may want to make some different choices. And then for every shift you want to make, what are your intended outcomes for that shift? And there are so many ways to do this work. I just want us to be intentional and have our eyes on the prize, what we're trying to accomplish. And the 4th bucket of homework I'd like you to do is I have 3 additional workshops that I just developed for you in different content. Additional activities, I looked at the common ground 3 different ways, the privilege walk, let me in, how to use group identity cards. What I did is I just took some other activities that I sometimes use, depending on the context, the outcomes, and just talked through a bit about how I might use them. And then universal design considerations. I really want to encourage you to do more research, talk to the different folks in your community, your organization that have far more capacity than I have. But I did offer to you all that I've been taught along the way and what I do proactively when I'm designing, as well as in the moment in a workshop as I'm getting ready to facilitate or even re-shifting an activity, because I'm learning in the moment what are some of the different capacities and how I need to make something more accessible for learning and engagement. And then finally, I think it's my shortest video ever on giving instructions and directions. And I just want you to keep using all we've been covering these 2 months with appendices A and B. The workshop you're revising, that you're developing, just keep applying the principles, take all these new activities, all these new concepts, and just keep working back. What would I do? How would I do it? The more prepared we are before we get into the workshop, I believe the greater chance of effective learning and engagement. I will see you on the next Q&A call. Take care.